The dictionary simply defines it as recall, remember, reflect on the positive experiences that we've had. And research shows or confirms that this is good for health and well being. In fact, reminiscing positive experiences is really a great marker of happiness. Welcome to episode 148 in my season of life, 60 years and beyond. And this is your fellow sojourner, Miss Malu Cervantes. Together, we are navigating the beautiful time of our life, the autumn of our life. In episodes 146 and 147, I, um, I gave in to your request that that I replay or give you a full replay of episodes 1, 2, and 3. Why? Even if it's there in the directory, you can actually just upload any of those episodes and you'll hear it. Well, maybe because we are on episode 148 and we have gone a long way from the why for the channel. And episodes 1, 2, 3 are actually foundational episodes. So, since your wish is my command, last episodes 146 and 147, I gave you full replays. You also wanted a replay of episode 3 and 4. I will get into that, but I promised you last time that we will begin a new series so that we will break from those replays, and I intend to do that some other time. Okay, so that's the first request. Do you know that there's a second request that most of you have asked me, and that is, why don't you make it more personal, Miss Malu? I know your work. You have shared with us, a lot of wonderful things, but we don't know much about it, about your own journey. How did you cope, with all of these challenges, and what do you see the future holds for you? Hmm. There is wisdom in this request of yours because neuroscience confirms it. And what is that? That people learn more from narratives or real stories from real people, not chatbots. Okay. Okay. So I agree, and I will do this. Okay. So since I am a person who really likes order and structure, I will use a technique because I don't want just to do it free willing conversations leading nowhere, no anchor, no reason why I will be sharing with you some of the things which I have undergone and in the process getting to know me. So I will use an approach I personally call the radiation technique. You radiate, you have one source and then it radiates, it scatters. Okay, and that's very, very simple. I will share with you either one insight that I have heard, or one quote that I have read, or maybe one idea I got from the many readings that I've been doing. You know that I'm a very, very voracious reader. Okay? I share that with you. I read 52 minimum 52 books a year, so that somehow translates to one book a week. All right, and I enjoy it. Right. So, and I also journal. You know that. So those ideas that resonate with me, I copy. All right. So this is what we will do. I'd like to kill two birds with one stone, and that is, I will start maybe with one of these ideas, okay, and then I will dive deeper into it through personal examples, and in the process, you get to know me more. Isn't that what you want? All right, so let's begin. Let's begin with the first one. I I know this in high school. I guess in high school literature when we will be forced, okay, to read and memorize, the classic poems from classic writers, like Shakespeare, like Alfred Tennyson, and everybody else. Okay, now I realize that there's this one poem that stuck to me. It's a poem written by Robert Frost. He is considered an American poet, which is the closest America has gotten into poet laureate position. And he wrote a poem. It's entitled, let me see, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. It's a long poem, but there is one refrain that stuck with me, and I'd like to start with that. Okay, and the lines go this way. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Of course, when you were a student, you simply memorized that. Okay? You never really found out, what's the meaning behind that. And now, after research, I found out that Robert Frost led a very sudden, tragic life. And the pain that he experienced, he translated it in beautiful poetry. All right, and this is what the words actually mean. Okay, he has undergone so many tragic events, so many trials. Okay, so many challenges. Okay, so many deaths in his family, and that represents the woods are lovely, dark, and deep. But he continued, even if he wanted to give up. And he just continued and continued until he reached a poet laureate position. And so the next two lines says what? But there are promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. Okay, isn't it wonderful? Okay, there are two instances in my life that somehow align with this particular stanza of his poem. The first one was in 2005. 2005. We had the house built, right? In 2005, we moved in, and barely 2 months. Okay, barely 2 months. We're in the house, and my husband just got very sick, very ill, that landed him in the hospital for 1 month, one straight month. And the illness, was serious. In fact, our doctor friends, and we have a lot of doctor friends, when they visited him, they actually push each other, okay, to be the one to tell me the supposedly bad news. And that they thought then that he will not survive. Okay, that the possibility of me going home to a new beautiful house that he designed and built for me alone, a widow. Okay, it was that bad. Right? Now, I stayed in the hospital for one entire month, seeing him really deteriorate from, the robust and lovely, and lively husband into what? Into somebody laying in bed with 10 attending physicians from different specialties, would visit him one after the other. In fact, the nurses told me that maybe because in the hospital, at least in the Philippines, they would put there the names of the attending physician. the name of the patient, and the name of the attending physician. The list was so long that they all represented, or they represent, all the specialties in internal medicine department. So they said, of course, they said this after he has survived that. Okay, it's bacterial meningitis, and he was short of being placed in the ICU, and thank the Lord it didn't happen. Okay, of course he survived. We went home after a month. He lost his short-term memory, and every day I would be asking him, "Who am I?" Okay, making sure that he did not forget me. All right, he did survive that. And, there were many times like this that I ask, why? Why, after all of these things, I had to undergo this? So the woods are lovely, dark, and deep. So I somehow, I didn't give up. Somehow I plugged through, And the other story I'd like to share with you happened near 2016. It was my turn to be ill, and I was diagnosed with stage 1A cancer of the uterus. And when you hear a diagnosis like this, you begin to ask, you know, why? Why? But then again, right? I the former pastor who was taking care of us in church was himself undergoing, treatment for prostate cancer, and he told me one thing. And he says, Malu, the best thing that could happen to anyone is to be diagnosed with cancer. I said, are you kidding me? Okay, what's good about that? And he said that since you know, okay, how the end will be, you will now have a chance to prepare your loved ones and yourself so that things will just be right. And he was right. He still, by the way, he survived that. He survived another operation. Okay, I think a heart problem. He survived it, and again, I've survived it. I'm free from it. So miles to go before I sleep. Miles to go before I sleep. Basically, it's not about giving up. And maybe you ask, what what made you not give up? What made you have hope? Well, the anchor, my anchor is my faith. You know that. I've shared my faith, a faith that there is someone much bigger, than all of these trials, more powerful, more loving, more gracious, okay, to be able to give both of us a second life. I call him God. Well, you may call him higher power, or some people call him universe, but I call him God. Okay? The effect of that is my faith has leapfrogged. Instead of feeling more like a victim, now I'm a victor. I have triumphed over two very, very, for very, very dangerous times in my life. And hope really reigns eternal. Okay. Now there's a segue to this, which I would like to do in the next episode. Then again, this is reminiscing what had been, which definitely has an effect on what is right now, and it will still continue to give me faith and hope and strength in the days to come. Right? So, if you are able to relate and resonate with this particular poem of Robert Frost, and again, I have shared with you a part of my life that dealt with really, really big trials, then okay, please subscribe so that we can continue to navigate, this life together, and we will soon be continuing with this. There are lots of sequels from this, and the whole month of December, I promise to address your second request of what knowing more about me, okay, where I've been, what I've gone through, and what's happening, and in the process, okay, in the process, what tell you that this can still be the most beautiful time of life. Okay, so this is Miss Manu Cervantes, your life coach, your mentor, your fellow sojourner in the autumn of our life. Sayonara.